Greetings once again, Shinobi. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, where previously Boruto allied with his former friends from the Leap and managed to defeat one of the divine tree beings, Hidari, leaving behind something known as a Thorn Soul Bulb, the core of Hidari's being. Boruto needed to obtain this in order to free Sasuke from the divine tree he was imprisoned in, only for Jura using a miniature-tailed beast bulb to snipe Boruto, injuring him. As Jura goes for the kill, Mamushi appears saying that he and Mitsuri had gathered information about the person helping Boruto, none other than Kashin Koji, and so they take their lead. And while Sarada insists on helping Boruto, Kawaki makes sure that Boruto is also taken into custody. Unconscious, Boruto relives the moment he met Kashin Koji. After Sasuke was imprisoned in the tree, Boruto was on the run by himself, Koji helping to conceal him, as Koji, after his battle against Ishiki, had actually managed to develop a Shinjutsu technique, one of the techniques of the Otsutsuki clan, much like Ada's omnipotence ability. But instead of controlling the minds of others, Koji can see off into the distant future. But it is simply past. Anything could happen and certain details aren't always applicable. Amado had implanted this ability in several different members of Kara. One of them was Koji himself. It's also how he learned about the altered memories going on, and why he took in Boruto and trained him, using his knowledge of the future to teach Boruto abilities he would learn later down the line, much more earlier than he would have. But in these visions, we saw yet another member of the God Trees that we had yet to encounter, meaning that there's still more danger on the horizon, not just Boruto being captured, especially now that the God Trees have obtained knowledge of Kashin Koji's existence. Will this ultimately be the worst case scenario that Koji hoped to avoid? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright. Man of the hour, Kashin Koji, and I love the little reels in the background displaying the potential futures. But Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 14, Duty. Duty. And of course, Boruto awakens in an interrogation room with Konohamaru sitting across from him at a table, flanked by Ibiki, who, well, if you know anything about his profession, you know why he's here. Konohamaru says, "You finally come to. Relax, your wound's been healed." I don't think I'm gonna like where this goes. The thing is, while Shikamaru is on Boruto's side, there's no good way of getting Boruto out of this situation. Boruto immediately notices his restraints, as Konohamaru says they're sealing jutsu cuffs crafted by Amado. No amount of weaving signs will lead to jutsu activation. They even suppress your favorite teleportation, and don't even think about trying to break them. They may be electronic, but they're extremely resistant to impact. You'll just injure your arm. Boruto takes a moment and then asks, "Is everyone else okay? And where's the enemy?" Konohamaru tells him, "The enemy's run off. There's no sign of their chakra in or around the village. We lost several comrades this round, but their actual targets like Sarada and Himawari are safe, as are the Inoshika-cho trio." We then see Sakura, who, God, we haven't seen Sakura in this series for a hot minute. But, I mean, let's face it, she's running a hospital. But Sakura is treating Inojin. She says, "This is incredible. He's been healed so completely it's hard to believe. His belly had been run through." We see that Ino, of course, since she's Inojin's mom, Himawari, Chocho, and Shikadai are all there as well by Inojin's bedside. Chocho asks, "Then he'll be okay?" While Shikadai says, "He hasn't even twitched." While Ino asks, "Will he wake up?" Sakura says, "Looks like his chakra flow was disrupted, but no worries. Once I get it going again, he'll eventually come to. Good thing you brought him here." Himawari lets out a sigh of relief, but naturally Ino dwells on her son. I actually wonder what she's gonna think in all this, because again, Ino has had a lot more prominence in this story than she has ever had, period. At least in terms of the Naruto and Boruto series. Sucks that it came at the expense of her son, but Hey, no greater motivation than that. Back in the interrogation room, Konohamaru asks, now Boruto, let's have a chat. Got a ton of questions for you. We see that the Leaf Village elders, Amado, are apparently listening in through a transmission, as well as Shikamaru on the other side of the one-way mirror. As Konohamaru says, first off, who were those guys who attacked Konoha? Why do they want Sarada and Himawari? Meanwhile, Ada uses her Senringan to eavesdrop as she sits with Damon and Kawaki. She says, it started Boruto's interrogation. Damon says, it ain't looking good, Kawaki. What's your plan? If Boruto decides to let all the cats out of the bag. Kawaki, who his natural state is resting bitch face, but he mean mugs Damon, but Damon still has that little grin saying, I mean, there probably isn't anyone loony enough to believe that your positions are flipped, but you did outright lie about Boruto killing the Hokage. I wonder how everyone will react when they find out. Ada says, I told you not to bring that up, Damon. Quit poking at Kawaki. Kawaki simply says, it won't change anything, no matter what Boruto says. It is still his fault that Lord Seventh disappeared. A dangerous Otsutsuki who could rampage at any moment? That's his true nature. Killing him is the only option, whether it's now or later. Ada doesn't respond. Kawaki continues on saying, but before that, we need to extract the intel he has, so we're able to deal with those mysterious monsters. Yep, the only reason why Kawaki hasn't tried to off Boruto yet. We see outside of the house, Mitsuki looking off into the distance. Meanwhile, back in the interrogation room, Konohamaru says, Divine Tree people who possess self-consciousness? Boruto says, yeah. Each one reflects the chakra of a person devoured by 10 tails and turned into a tree. For example, Old Man Sasuke was the base model for Hidari, who you just fought. I've also seen one called Mitsuri, whose base model is Master Moegi. Konohamaru questions Mitsuri. Boruto then says, be careful, Master Konohamaru. The one Mitsuri is eager to devour is you. Konohamaru is taken aback, saying, what? Amado chimes in saying 10 Tails' intended purpose is to devour an Otsutsuki, become a divine tree, and put down roots in the ground in order to suck the planet dry of life and produce a chakra fruit. It knows this instinctively, but now that they've acquired intelligence, we should view them as more than a simple beast that acts on impulse. In general, intellectual curiosity seeks experiences that lead to new emotions and knowledge, namely information. I suspect that's what they want. Konohamaru says, information, huh? While Ibuki remains silent, eyeing Boruto. Konohamaru questions, you're saying that they're trying to gain information by devouring Sarada, Himawari, and me? Boruto comments something like that. And the one egging them all on is their leader, Jura. Shikamaru questions, Jura? Boruto explains, he's a special case. Unlike the others, he has no prototype. He is a direct incarnation of the 10 Tails, and the one steering this crisis we're facing right now. Oh, he is the 10 Tails given a human form. You know, I kept commenting that it was interesting that the 10 Tails is essentially the villain through the divine tree beings. But no, this is telling us, no, the 10 Tails itself is the villain. That's actually kind of interesting. Man, Boruto is doing as much heavy lifting as it can to give the whole 10 Tails thing and the Otsutsukis as much of a big role in the story as they can. And I'm kind of here for it, all things considered. While there's still going to be those who dismiss a lot of the stuff that go on in Boruto, because let's face it, the 10 Tails tree and Otsutsuki stuff was the stuff that people were the least interested in at the end of Naruto because of how much it just forced itself into the plot. Mostly the Otsutsuki stuff. But they're really going for it, and I ain't mad at them. Amado and the elders listen intently. As Boruto says, in short, if we can defeat Jura, the planet would stop being in danger. As Shikamaru listens on, Konohamaru asks, how are you so certain? Boruto doesn't respond. Konohamaru asks again, why do you know these things? How do you figure it out? Ibuki continues to glare at Naruto. As Konohamaru asks again, answer me, Boruto. Our decision on whether to trust you or not depends on it. Boruto takes a moment and then says, I have a source, but sorry, I can't reveal his identity. Konohamaru says, what? Ibuki's his intense stare gets even more intense. Zamado listens in. Boruto says, he asked me not to, for his own safety. Konohamaru says, not acceptable. You expect us to believe a traitor's tale without a single ounce of evidence? Boruto says, back at you. Most of you want me dead. The only reason I'm still alive is because of my intel, right? One of the elders, Homura, says, don't get cocky with us, renegade. Shikamaru remains silent, not wanting to tip his hand. As Boruto listens, Homura says, whatever and whomever those monsters desire, what we of Konoha must do does not change. Any hostile elements will be eliminated using all means necessary. That includes you, Boruto. Regardless of what you say or don't, know that there is no chance of you leaving that room alive. The other elder, Koharu, says, so given that, speak with caution. Based on your words, we could at least offer you a painless death. Tell us, Boruto. Why ever did you lay a hand on Uzumaki Naruto, Lord 7? Okay. The reason why Shikamaru has been silent this entire time is because he's been communicating with Boruto. Mentally he says, alright, I hear you. But Boruto, if you have no intel to kill Kawaki, you need to understand that you'll have to continue taking false blame regarding Naruto. Seeing as blank effect lies with Kawaki, I like to avoid making him feel cornered again, which means not exposing what he did quite yet. So you'll need to stay a fugitive. You okay with that? Boruto responds, yeah, that's fine. I wasn't expecting otherwise. Oh no, I was wondering what that blank was. His memory is being readjusted already. Dang. But even with this, it's not being able to stabilize. Shikamaru thinks to himself, huh? What exactly is it that lies with Kawaki? And on what basis do I find Boruto trustworthy? I don't know. And yet somehow, for no logical reason, I'm convinced that he is Uzumaki Boruto. I have the memory of deciding to believe that, and that accepting this premise leads to everything falling into place, which means I can't let Boruto die here and now. Oh, thank God. I'm not gonna lie, my heart started to kind of sink for a second, because it's like, oh no, Shikamaru, you are the only person who can be trusted in this situation. Oh no, no, Shikamaru, no. The level of relief I have that something inside Shikamaru is still telling him, trust Boruto. He is the key. Man, this council has always kind of been a problem. These old fucks, I kind of hoped that they had died by this point, and the council would have been like, oh no, Tsunade and Kakashi, former Hokage. Not these old bastards. They cause more problems than nothing else. And it's true. That's kind of indicative to the real world, let's be honest. Boruto speaks up saying, I didn't kill him. Lord 7th is alive. His wife too. They're both somewhere safe. Konohamaru is shocked, saying, what? Amado and Ada listen in as Koharu says, of all things you could say, they're both somewhere safe. And where is that? Why do they need to hide? And Boruto simply says, I'm not telling. And as Kawaki continues to wait, Homura says, you drop such a tall tale now, I'm speechless. Boruto responds, I just don't intend to reveal anything to you. I haven't told a single lie. And as Amado listens in, Homura says, insolent brat, you seek a painful death? And Ibuki moves in, saying, good, that's the spirit. He adjusts his gloves, saying, we're finally heading in the direction of a real interrogation, Boruto? Shikamaru starts to panic a little bit, and then contacts Ino, saying, Ino, it's me. How's Inojin doing? Ino says, he's good, still asleep, but nothing's abnormal. Shikamaru says, that's a relief. I'm glad, truly. Ino says, stop beating around the bush. This is about Boruto, right? Shikamaru takes a moment and says, yeah, things aren't good. I want to take him off the grid again. Can you pull him into this transmission right now? But Ino questions, is that an order, Hokage? Shikamaru questions, Ino? Ino says, I've said this before, but personal use of mind transmission jutsu is against regulation. Plus all calm and intent is required to be reported. Even our convo now is already violating 5 regulations. Shikamaru says, I told you it's a top secret mission. You're the only one I can ask. Ino responds, I'm worried about you. Why do you champion him so much? I just don't understand it. Shikamaru responds, Ino, I get how you feel your distrust, but please trust me. I need your help. I'm not ordering you as Hokage, but as a friend. Ino looks back at her son and then responds, cool your head, Shikamaru. This can't keep happening. It needs to stop. I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. She cuts the line as Shikamaru says, Ino, wait. Ino. Yeah. There it is. The unfortunate thing was that the moment that Shikamaru started to kind of doubt because his mind starts to readjust to seeing Boruto as an enemy, it should have been a sign that Ino's would as well. But Shikamaru, he's going on a feeling that he has. Ino, well, she was kind of pulled into this way too quickly without anything personally telling her to trust in this. And after what happened to her son, it's just kind of pushed her to believe that something dangerous is happening, potentially because of Boruto. Ibiki rounds Boruto saying, if Lord Seventh is safe, tell us where he is. If he can't, your claim isn't going to fly, and you'll die disgraced as a Hokage killing traitor. Boruto doesn't respond, and Ibiki slams his head into the table. He lifts Boruto's head up and says, you see, Boruto? I've been itching to pummel the crap out of you for killing Naruto these last 3 years. Boruto turns his attention to Ibiki saying, it must be nice to have so much free time. Jeez. And Ibiki decks him in the face. Shikamaru starts to kind of visibly panic a little bit as Ibiki then slams Boruto in the stomach. Boruto lifts his head, glaring at Ibiki. As Ibiki says, nice glare. Let's see how long it lasts. Shikamaru says, enough, Ibiki, enough. It's useless. He's in the type to break under pain. As Ibiki and Konohamaru turn their attention to Shikamaru, Shikamaru says, let's use venom. Summon Mitsuki. Konohamaru responds, Lord Eighth, I don't think that's wise. Mitsuki has shown strong killing urges towards Boruto. Forget interrogation. Worst case, he may just try to kill Boruto outright the moment he sees his fate. Shikamaru responds, that's fine. I'll take the fall. Call him in now. Shikamaru must have a plan here. Did he talk to Mitsuki after the fact? Because wouldn't he be the only other person aware of Mitsuki's kind of change in mindset? Or has Mitsuki's mind readjusted as well? Ada continues to observe with her Senringan, and she tells Kawaki, it doesn't look like Boruto's planning to tell them what you did, Kawaki. Kawaki questions, what? Ada says, you seem to be trying to protect your standing in Konoha. Damon perks up saying, what the heck? Why would he do that? I don't get that guy. While Kawaki thinks to himself. Meanwhile, Mitsuki has arrived. Shikamaru types into the keypad to the door to the interrogation room saying, here, go on in. But as Mitsuki goes for the door, Shikamaru takes his hand saying, Mitsuki, remember, we are shinobi, and this is a mission. Control your emotions and perform your duty. Understand? I feel like Shikamaru gave Mitsuki a message there. Mitsuki doesn't respond and enters the room. Konohamaru turns as Mitsuki enters and Boruto glares at him. Konohamaru says, listen, Mitsuki, Boruto is a material witness. There's a chance he's hiding intel crucial to Konoha's safety. Our purpose is to extract that info, so remember, do not kill him, alright? But then Boruto smiles saying, hey Mitsuki. Konohamaru's attention turns to Boruto. Boruto says, are you still idiotically searching for your son? Mitsuki's eyes narrow. He immediately goes into sage mode. He rushes Boruto, slamming him against the wall. Konohamaru gets up saying, Mitsuki. As Mitsuki says, is that all you have to say, you ungrateful traitor? Ibiki tries to hold Mitsuki back, saying, you fool, stand down. Oh, but unbeknownst to everyone else, a snake slips behind Boruto's back, undoing Boruto's cuffs. Boruto notices this as Mitsuki whispers, your stuff is in the West Wing security office. There are 2 guards. Konohamaru rounds the table as Ibiki pulls Mitsuki off of Boruto. Konohamaru says, damn it, I warned you. But suddenly, Ibiki and Konohamaru are taken off guard. While Ibiki restrains Mitsuki, Boruto forms a hand sign saying, just to be clear, I don't see any of you as foes. I'm even okay sharing intel as needed, which I'll decide, and how you use it will be entirely up to you. Boruto uses the flying Raijin to teleport out. As Konohamaru is shocked, he views the cuffs saying, no way, he slipped the cuffs? Ibiki says, gah, I thought they were supposed to be resistant to even a high impact. A damn bastard Amado, foisting such junk onto us. But Konohamaru thinks for a second saying, Mitsuki unlocked them? No, it can't be. Only Ibiki and I and Lord Eighth know the 4-digit key code. And besides, Mitsuki has no reason to help Boruto. You say that, but then we flash back to when Shikamaru grabbed Mitsuki's hand and stuffed the piece of paper with the 4-digit code into Mitsuki's palm. Boruto manages to teleport to the security office. I have to assume one of his frogs was there, or at least one of the symbols was in his cloak. As Boruto appears into the security office, taking the shinobi off guard. As they turn, questioning what? Boruto grabs his stuff, saying, "Don't feel bad, it's not your fault." And he just teleports out. You say that, but they're probably gonna feel pretty bad. They call out, "What? Hey, stop!" We pick back in the interrogation room, where Mitsuki says, "I'm so sorry, Master Konohamaru. I lost my cool and blew it." Playing it off. Konohamaru turns to him, saying, "It's understandable. Lord 8 sanctioned this plan, so don't beat yourself up." Mitsuki then takes a moment. Well, I'm glad at least Mitsuki was able to keep his mindset. Thankfully, he probably still has that gut feeling. Just gotta hope his anger doesn't overwhelm him. Meanwhile, Shikamaru meets with the elders, or the Leaf Village Council, Konoha Council. Koharu tells him what an absolute blunder, and Homura says, "You've wasted our one opportunity to bring him down." Shikamaru says, "My apologies, I'll launch a manhunt." Koharu then says, "The daimyos will be quite unhappy without a doubt. Beware, Shikamaru. There shall be lasting consequences from this." Don't like the sound of that. And Shikamaru doesn't respond. We then pick up with Shikamaru in his office, smoking, as Sarada is heard outside his door saying, "I said move aside. I told you, I just want to talk to him." Shikamaru turns saying, "Gah, what now? Let him in." Sarada and Sumire enter his office. Sarada saying, "Lord 8, what was the result of Boruto's interrogation?" Shikamaru turns back to the window saying, "He escaped." Sarada going, "Huh?" Yeah, she's not in the know that he's, well, at least for now, on the up and up. Suddenly, there's a telepathic communication. The communication core says, "Lord 8, you've received an emergency call from Lord Konkuro of the Sand Village." Oh, that's Konkuro? Oh god, do not like the way he looks in this art style. I wouldn't have even known that was him if you didn't tell me. Shikamaru says, "I'm in the Hokage office. Patch it through directly." Konkuro says, "It's been a while, Shikamaru. Sorry to bother you." I mean, your in-laws, it's never quite a bother, unless you're asking for money. Shikamaru says, "Konkuro, what's going on? Remember when they used to use crows for messages? Man, don't miss that." Oh, Konkuro says, "Gar's been taken down. His adopted son Shinki too." Yeah, that's the kid who used the metal shavings and stuff. He didn't appear too much in the manga, but he appeared a lot in the anime from what I remember. Shikamaru says, "What?" Oh. Konkuro says, "Shinki's got the tree affliction. Fortunately, they're both alive. I'll explain more later, but forgive my bluntness. Could you lend us a hand?" That's who the fifth one is. I would have never guessed. And as we see the divine being born from Shinki being imprisoned in one of the god trees rise on that one cube under the god tree where the other god trees hide out, Jura says, "Finally awake, how do you feel, Ryu?" Street Fighter! I gotta say, this was... This actually got my heart like sinking, beating, just stopping a few moments because you didn't know what was gonna happen. Because knowing that Boruto is innocent, one of the plot lines that I usually hate the most is when trusted allies and friends forget who you are. But this is so different because they see him as someone who turned out to be an enemy. They already didn't trust Kawaki, and then Kawaki went and took out Naruto, which they believed for years, and then he's telling them, "Oh, Naruto's still alive, but I ain't telling you where he is," and it's like, okay, you're messing with us now, even though he really isn't. Well, Boruto isn't. I do hope that the whole situation with Boruto gets resolved quickly, because again, usually I don't like plot lines like this, but it's played so different that I'm still kind of fascinated where it goes. And actually seeing Ibiki after all this time come in and just start giving Boruto the business, like damn. Ibiki seeing more action than a lot of characters, let's be honest. And Boruto, he stood his ground on this one. And I also love the way he just politely kind of responds to a lot of people. Except for when he was getting his ass kicked in. Oh man, it sucks that Ino kind of cut Shikamaru off, but there's a part of her that thinks that she's doing this for his own good because he's going down a bad direction and all that, which, oh man, that sucks for the levels of trust that they normally would have. And shoot, even Shinky through Ryu being unveiled is also kind of like, oh, okay. This sucks for Gaara, because Gaara can't catch a break. One of the sadder things about moving over to the Shippuden era of Naruto is that people say that a lot of the Konoha 11 from back in the day don't get a lot of time in the sun, but let's be honest, in Shippuden, even when a lot of them showed up, they didn't always get the best kinds of attention. Kankuro immediately got his ass beat. Gaara got his ass beat upon his first appearance in Shippuden. He had some great moments down the line, but aside from that, let's be honest, how many great moments do we really have for Gaara? And it was great that he and the other Kage were involved in the fight against the Otsutsuki, but they didn't really get to against the Otsutsuki. And it was no 5 Kage versus Madara, let's be honest. Shoot, they stood more of a chance there than they did against the Otsutsuki. Shoot, where's Rock Lee? Ino's had a lot of time, but this is the first time we've seen Sakura in how long in the Boruto series? Again, not counting the anime. What's Choji doing? At least we know that Shino is a teacher, but you think we'd see him hanging more around with Himawari and stuff. Who knows what Kiba's been up to? And don't get me started on what Tenten's probably up to. Shoot, Moegi now gets a lot more prominence because of what happened to her. At least there's a canonical reason why we're not gonna see her active. And shoot, who actually remembers Udon, aside from the fact that his team is made up of pretty much anime onlys entirely except for Metal Lee, then there's Metal Lee. Then there's Metal Lee. But that's just me airing a lot of my gripes when it comes to the Naruto series as a whole. Just gotten so used to people commenting how a lot of characters don't get seen nowadays, but it's just like, man, even when they were seen in Shippuden, they barely got to do anything outside of filler. But regardless, I'm glad that Boruto managed to escape. Kashinkoji was on the cover, but he wasn't even in the chapter. Well, he was kind of referenced a few times, there's that. But I felt bad for Shikamaru. He knows what he's doing is right, but he's not gonna get the support he needs to make sure it gets done. And omnipotence is gonna undermine what could otherwise be a good direction for a lot of these characters. That's frustrating, but it also offers a good excuse for why you don't want certain characters to get what they want. The downside is that a lot of characters have to be undermined or is made to feel incompetent in a lot of situations. It really kind of sucks rooting against the Leaf when it comes to this. But let me know your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.